Okay, if you feel constantly responsible for how your partner feels, how your kids feel, how your friends feel, how your boss feels, then let's talk. Because responsibility feels virtuous, but misplaced responsibility is actually distrust in disguise. Okay, because you are responsible for your thoughts, your choices, your boundaries, your healing. You are not responsible for people's interpretations, people's reactions, other people's emotional regulation. Okay. And when you take responsibility for those things, you exhaust yourself trying to do the impossible. Okay. Now, many of us learned that we are responsible for how other people feel, right? We learned to be the good girl and to be the overachiever, to make our parents happy, to make our teachers happy. We learned to be the peacekeeper in our family, the fixer in our family. We learned to be the one that make sure everybody else feels good, right? To make sure everyone else is okay. So we learned that our value is in how we made others feel. But this backfired on us because we couldn't always make them feel good, right? So when we couldn't make them feel better, we saw that as a failure of our own. Okay. It became a part of our identity of not being good enough, of being a failure, of not trying hard enough. And this set us up for a pattern of overgiving and self sacrifice. Okay. It taught us the illusion that we are responsible for how other people feel, which set us up to continually try to do the impossible of managing other people's emotions. Okay. Now, the reason that it is impossible to manage other people's emotions is because all emotions are created from thoughts. Okay. And since you are not the thinker in anyone's mind but your own, you cannot create other people's feelings. Okay. You cannot create other people's feelings. When you understand this, when you finally recognize that managing other people's emotions is impossible, something radical in your life happens. You start leading yourself. Okay. In the Magnificent Circle, we call this embodying self authority. Self authority is the ability to hear yourself and respond. Okay. And this is where self trust begins because every time you act in your own self authority, you hear yourself and you respond, you build self trust because you show yourself that you can trust yourself. And self trust is essential to your life because without self trust, your nervous system says, I can't trust this voice. I don't know what to do. So your nervous system stays in dysregulation and you stay in survival, overthinking, overdoing, in burnout, and life feels hard because you are trying to navigate your life without your own self trust, without your own knowing, without your own truth, without your own intuition, without your own desires. So it's hard to make decisions. It's hard to know what to do. It's hard to make change. And your life just feels like it's on repeat. And without your own self trust, you just default to what other people want, what other people think, okay, to their emotions, to their needs, to their wants, to their desires. You don't know where you end and they begin. Okay. In psychology, this is known as codependence. You need other people to be okay so you can be okay. But when you've established self trust, you understand that you are no longer responsible for managing other people's emotions, that it is, in fact, impossible because all emotions are created from thoughts and you are not the thinker in their head, even when they blame you for how they feel. Okay. When you have built self trust, you know that is not true. You stop carrying the responsibility to fix everybody, to make everyone else feel better. And like, imagine how much energy you would get back. Imagine how much energy you would have if you were no longer exhausting yourself, sacrificing yourself, burning yourself out, trying to manage the impossible of trying to control other people's emotions. And imagine the time you would get back, right? All the time and all the energy you would get back when you're no longer trying to manage how everyone else feels. Okay. When you stop overreaching outward and you start building self trust inward, you begin to lead your own life. Okay. You get your power back, you get your clarity back because now you have self authority. You know what's yours and you know what isn't. All right. So inside the magnificent circle, we don't just intellectually understand this, we practice it. We untangle guilt. We rewire over responsibility. We rebuild emotional boundaries. We embody self authority. And every time you act in your own self authority, you build your own self trust. Okay. So if this is the month that you stop carrying what was never yours to carry, if you're ready for support doing that, come join us inside the magnificent circle. The link will be in the show notes. And until next time, remember, something magnificent is going to happen.